Hello guys, what's going on? My name is Sam, or Chaotic, and welcome back to another GTA 5 video here on my channel. So as you guys can see from the title of this video, today I am going to be comparing the brand new Akula attack helicopter, of course only added into the game a few days ago in the Doomsday Heist update, and I'll be comparing this to the FH1 Hunter that was in the Smuggler's Run update, but only came out about a month ago or so. This being the most asked question I had on a video the other day where I compared the new Kunjali tank with the Rhino tank. It was actually a pretty interesting video, and if you guys haven't seen that, definitely go ahead and watch it. There will of course be a link in the description, but I had loads and loads of comments on that video asking for a comparison between the Akula and the FH1 Hunter, so that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. So let's get straight into things. Now, straight off the bat, one thing I will say is that these two attack helicopters are very similar. But before Rockstar added the Doomsday Heist update into the game, as I'm sure you guys would agree, the Hunter attack helicopter was by far the best attack helicopter we had in-game for a number of different reasons. So I feel like Rockstar have added the Akula into the game to offer some competition, but which one is better? Well, both these have their advantages and disadvantages over one another, but let's start things off with their prices. So you can purchase both of these attack helicopters from the Warstock Cash and Carry website. The Akula has a trade price of $2,785,000, or a buy it now price if you haven't unlocked that for $3,704,050, which is a little cheaper than the Hunter, but only by a few $100,000. If you scroll down further, you'll find the Hunter at a trade price of $3,100,000, or a buy it now price of $4,123,000. So the Akula is a little cheaper. It's roughly $400,000 less on the buy it now and the trade prices. But there are differences in features available on these helicopters from standard when you first buy them. So when you first purchase the Akula, it will come with quite a few things. It will come weaponized. It has two machine gun turrets, one either side, that can be operated by the pilot. But these only fire regular rounds, they aren't explosive. And the Akula comes with a second turret from standard fitted to the front of the helicopter, but this one is only operated by the passenger who sits alongside the pilot. Which I guess isn't such a bad thing, seeing the pilot has access to their own machine gun turrets, so it basically means the passenger who sits alongside you can also operate one. And this turret is upgradable when you're customizing it in your hangar. You can actually change it from a single to a double machine gun turret. And it's worth noting this doesn't fire explosive rounds either. But what you can do when you're upgrading this helicopter is fit the missiles to it. And there are two missile options when you're upgrading this, one being just regular homing missiles and the other being barrage. Unfortunately, you can't have both, you can only choose one or the other, and as cool as it is to have the barrage feature where you can fire numerous missiles at a time, the homing missile feature is definitely the better one to choose. Because this of course gives you the ability to fire missiles which lock onto targets, and you can fire missiles continuously, so one after another after another. And there's also one additional weapon option you can fit to this as well when you're upgrading it, that being the bombing feature. So with the Akula you have the option of numerous different bomb choices, so if you want to, once fitted, you can drop bombs on targets. But the bomb dropping feature is also available for the Hunter whilst upgrading it, so in no way, shape or form is it unique or only available for the Akula. But the Hunter from standard is weaponized and comes with missiles, and it has two missile features, both the homing missiles and the barrage, which on the Akula of course is a buyable upgrade. And you can only have one, whereas with the Hunter it has both of them fitted from standard. But one thing the Hunter doesn't have, which the Akula does, are pilot operated machine gun turrets from standard. In fact, you can't even apply machine gun turrets to the Hunter when upgrading it, it's simply not an option. But whether you find this useful or not comes down to your opinion. Personally, I don't find machine gun turrets all that great, especially if they don't fire explosive rounds like with the Akula. But the Hunter does have a secondary machine gun turret which can be operated by the passenger, just like with the Akula, and this one is upgradable in the hangar as well, and you can fit explosive rounds to this one. So both have their own selection of weapons, but in my opinion, the Hunter is better equipped, especially when upgraded. From standard, it comes with missiles, both homing and barrage. It also has the secondary turret, which can be upgraded and can fire explosive rounds, plus you can also fit the bomb dropping feature. And it's worth noting, to fully customize and upgrade the Hunter, it will cost you just $300,000, whereas for the Akula, it will cost you upwards of $700,000, with over $300,000 of that going on the missiles. So although the Akula at first is a little cheaper to buy and will save you around about $400,000 or so, most of the saving will go on fitting missiles to it, which you get from standard when you buy the Hunter. But in no way, shape or form does this mean the Hunter has won. In fact, the Akula has 2 more seats. You can seat up to 4 people in the Akula, whereas with the Hunter there are only 2 seats. And the 2 passengers who sit in the back of the Akula have access to both night and thermal vision, which at first may not sound all that special, especially seeing we have both night and thermal vision goggles available in game now, but you can't wear either of them in a helicopter, which is where the feature in the Akula comes in use. But most importantly, the Akula has one main feature which neither the Hunter or any other helicopter or vehicle in the game for that matter has, that being stealth mode. This being a feature which is fitted to the Akula from standard, so when you first buy it, it will have this. But basically what stealth mode does is completely hide you from the radar, and that applies to everybody in the helicopter, both the pilot and all the passengers, so it means you can fly around the entire map and go completely undetected. The feature itself is unlimited and you can use it whenever you want, but this is a feature you have to enable, and once enabled, you won't have access to any of your weapons. But then again, your weapons are only a button press away. Press the button to disable stealth mode, your weapons will be active once again, and you can use them and go straight back into stealth mode. To activate and disable stealth mode takes less than a second, so you haven't got to worry at being at a disadvantage. This stealth mode is definitely a useful feature to have. The only other way you can go off the radar is by calling Lester and paying for it, which gives you 3 minutes or so off the radar, or of course you can enable Ghost Organization, which hides all of your organization players from the radar, but that will cost you $20,000. And again, only lasts a few minutes, but with the Akula it is a free option. You can enable it at any time you want and hide all 4 players in the Akula off the radar for as long as you want. Anyway, moving on though to something which both these attack helicopters have issues with, that being flying forward. So as you guys can see, in the gameplay right now, I'm flying forward and holding the stick forward as well, so it should just travel in a straight line at the same level. But instead what it does, it gradually gets higher and higher and higher in altitude. Now the Hunter does the exact same, but nowhere near as quickly as the Akula. The Akula definitely increases its altitude a lot faster, but basically what this means, its straight line speed is a lot slower than what it could be. But there are things you can do to counteract this, and it's pretty easy as well. So what you want to do whilst flying forward, rather than holding down the accelerator all the way and holding the stick forward all the way, instead just tap the accelerator. And with some practice, you'll be able to make both these helicopters fly on a very steady flight path, and as a result, you'll be able to fly around much faster than if you just hold down the accelerator and hold the stick forward. But of course, the important question being now, which one is faster, the Akula or the Hunter? Well, what I found flying from the Sandy Shores airfield to the military base, both did it in almost identical times. It took 48 seconds for the Akula, but 50 seconds for the Hunter. So the Akula is maybe a little faster, but only just. But when it comes to actually flying around and being agile and nimble, the Akula is definitely the better helicopter. In no way, shape or form am I a professional helicopter pilot in GTA 5. In fact, I'm possibly one of the worst players in GTA Online when it comes to flying around. But it's definitely much easier to control the Akula. It certainly feels a lot more agile just flying around the city in amongst the buildings, and that's because the Akula is a little smaller and a little faster accelerating as well, getting up to speed. I'm not saying the Hunter is bad, it's just not quite as good or on the same level as the Akula, and it needs more space to get around. But there's one final thing we need to compare, that being the explosive resistance of each helicopter. We're going to start things off with the Akula, and this is from standard, so without any customizations applied, and it will in fact take 2 sticky bombs to destroy it. So it will survive the first one, but the second one will then destroy it. And of course that applies to both RPGs and homing launchers. Then as for the Hunter, again also standard, so when you first buy it without any customizations on it, this also takes 2 sticky bombs to destroy. But if you fully customize both of these helicopters and apply max armor, it will in fact survive an extra sticky bomb or an extra shot from an RPG or homing launcher, so it now takes 3 to destroy the Akula. And as for the Hunter, the exact same thing applies. When you fully customize it and apply max armor, it also takes 3 sticky bombs to destroy. It will survive the first 2, and the third one will then blow it up. So both helicopters are the exact same then when it comes to their explosive resistance. Despite this though, there is a better one out of the two, and in case it wasn't obvious already, the better choice most definitely is the Akula. Personally, I think it is the better all-round helicopter. It's a little cheaper to buy at first. I know it will cost you a little more then to upgrade, so the overall price is very similar between the two, but it is a little faster, it's a little more agile, it seats up to 4, and of course has the stealth mode, which straight away gives it a huge advantage over any other helicopter in game. So with that being said then guys, that's it for this video. Out of these two, the Hunter and the Akula definitely is the better helicopter, but if you guys have a different opinion, of course let me know right now by leaving a comment on this video. If you guys could help me out as well by dropping a like on this video, it would of course be greatly appreciated, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, I'd recommend that you do, because I upload all the latest and the greatest Grand Theft Auto 5 videos. So as always guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.